Sea Dragon, Myth and Truth. When flying to the Indian Ocean on the last day of 1968, two Soviet pilots looked at giant snake monsters. They are not the only ones who encounter sea dragons, a species whose survival has been studied since the 13th century. There are actually sea dragons. Since ancient times, sea dragons have been a popular topic in spiritual life, literature, painting, beliefs of coastal inhabitants. Even the Bible speaks of it. Nordic people even describe a wavy sea dragon, up to 30 meters long, head like a horse's head. However, only a few recent centuries, the authenticity and attractiveness of this subject has risen sharply due to a series of sea dragon events recorded. During a transatlantic flight in 1843, Spanish sailor Roberto Garcia claimed a black dragon about 10 meters long appeared on a violent sea evening. British sailor Charlie Hoose, when crossing the Indian Ocean on a turbulent day in 1901, also saw a giant snake-like monster. All Paulina sailors confirmed on July 13, 1858, they witnessed the sea dragon fight the whale. On August 6, 1848, sailors of the British battleship Daedalus saw between the Cape of Good Hope and Elena Island a large snake-shaped creature, swimming across the sea, with a head over the water. 7 years ago, one day in late 1841, near Oporto, a group of British battleship Plumper painted a strange creature and, when comparing the drawings of two crewmen, they were found to be similar. Subsequent drawings of the ship Crew Imogen Ship, 1856, and Princess Ship, 1858, too. At the end of the First World War, a German warship sank the British Iberian ship in the North Atlantic. After the British submarine exploded beneath the surface of the water, along with a piece of wreckage emerged a huge, snake-like creature that waved violently for 12 to 15 seconds and dived. Lost toothpick. In 1947, the American sailor Santa Clara met the same monster. In 1951, the fishermen of the Bay of Heroes witnessed a 12 meters long, blue-gray snake-like creature, with its crest-like fins and fast swimming. In the Indian Ocean on December 2, 1968, when flying 30 meters above sea level, two Soviet pilots Ivan Jaus and Fedor Dolienko suddenly saw a giant monster longer than 10 meters in diameter, nearly 1 meter swirling. A few minutes later, they saw the second monster in a similar shape. On a beautiful morning in January 1984, engine engineer Jim Thompson has caught a fish near Vancouver, Canada. Then suddenly about 60 meters from the train he emerged a snake animal about 8 meters long, snout black, big ears, on the head are pretty nice horns. The animal looked at him for a moment, then quickly dived into the water. Scientists say? Since the 13th century, researchers have been working on sea dragon phenomena, but only in the late 19th century did research become systematic and scientific. Top of this category is the scientist Gislo Oudemans, member of the Dutch zoology. With a 600-page giant sea serpent, published in 1892, the Oudemans elaborate, convincing evidence of the existence of the sea dragon. According to him, at that time, 162 sea dragons had been recorded and published 350 articles, reportable, researched, on this species. In 1868, a sea dragon was hit by a wave at Stanza Beach and studied by Berkeley's renowned Dr. He published data about it: body length 16.75 meters, diameter 0.9 meters, hairs in the neck, swimming fins look like goose wings. Unfortunately, his report was not noticed by contemporary biology. In 1899, the British Emu ship on the road to Sydney, Australia, stopped on Sawa Island and caught a dead body of 18 meters long, 8-foot-long snake-shaped monster, head-like, horse-toothed, dark gray. The coat is very hard, rotting. Two prestigious scientific newspapers, English Mechanic and Nature, reported the event. However, due to the feeling of discomfort in front of the flesh decay, the sailors did not take any part of the animal as evidence to study the sea dragon. On January 13, 1903, the French Zoological Society meeting with a report of scientist Emilio Riccovezza, who participated in Antarctic exploration, on the reality of the sea dragon. He successfully defended his view before his colleagues, and the French Zoological Society agreed to publish the report in the Scientific Journal of the Society. Also in France, in 1968, the book The Sea Sheath of the famous zoologist Bernard de Vinmel, president of the International Society for the Study of Hidden Animals, published and immediately resonated. In the book, the author cited 500 cases of sea monsters. He divides them into 3 groups of 9, one of which is considered a marine dragon, consisting of 4 types: mermaid, finned, yellow eel and lizard. Along with the events and discoveries, the number of people who believe in true sea dragons is constantly increasing. According to them, the vast ocean contains many strange animals that scientists do not know or do not have access to carefully. Sea dragons are one of them. Witnesses have reported repainted sea dragons in various parts of the world, and the descriptions of the different witnesses of sea dragons in each region are very similar, credible evidence. Conversely, many people consider the sea dragon as just a legendary animal. According to them, despite many words, drawings about sea dragon, but so far no one has captured, photographed, recorded it. It has not been discovered that the sea dragon drifted to the shore, which was scientifically examined in the widespread and objective media coverage. Large-scale hunts with modern support equipment in areas suspected of having sea dragons have not detected any evidence of this monster. Thus, the encounter of sea dragons is either a fabrication, or a hallucination, or is mistaken for ordinary sea animals, sharks, sperm whales, sea lions, octopuses, in conditions special only. Scientists and aquatic biologists point to cautious views. They argue that if sea dragons exist, they are probably one of the survivors of prehistoric times, such as some species of fish that live in deep seas and rarely surface. Country. This hypothesis is acceptable because in fact there are many living fossils, as in the case of the semi-lizard fishes of Ceratodus still surviving in Australia after their line became extinct millions of years ago. Or as Apteryx in New Zealand is considered the tiny descendants and deformation of the giant moa that has long been extinct. Another theory suggests that sea dragons may be just as large as sea snakes, as hundreds of species of snakes live in the oceans of the Hydrophidae family, including 2 major Latocanda and Apis species, including species big and 8 to 9 meters in length. So far, it has not been confirmed exactly how true sea dragon is. This is also a reason to increase the attractiveness of this topic, causing more and more people interested, eagerly waiting for the new information and final conclusion about it in the future.